Hello, 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 YouTube. How is everything going? Finally, after the delay of our YouTube seemingly not going live at the appropriate time, YouTube has been down for the past 45 minutes. They've now started to get everything going, but it's time to talk about the Arsenal. And I have now watched the live draw. I would have done this a lot earlier, but if it wasn't for due to some technical abilities, te- deficiencies going on over the past 45 minutes, I would have been able to get this information sooner. Yo, Joseph, how's it going, mate? Um, what do you think? I don't know. Have you heard the draw? Before, let me just go through the teams. Obviously, you can see from the title, Arsenal have drawn Benfica. So let me know your thoughts on that. In terms of other Premier League teams, Tottenham have drawn Wolfsburger, and they're talking about it now on BT Sport. Uh, Manchester United got Real Sociedad, which for me that's a tough one. Sociedad are top of La Liga right now. Uh, Leicester have got Slavia Prague, which I think is a reasonable one. That's actually pretty decent. And then if we're talking like wider UK, Rangers drew or Royal Antwerp, which are I think that's probably a fair draw for them. So pretty much some pretty good ones. I did hope to get an easier draw. I was expecting someone like Granada, or I thought those would be great because I know we'll be able to get through those no problem. You haven't heard the draw? Wow. Okay. So yes, basically Arsenal have drawn Benfica in the last 32 of the Europa League. The draw happened. Well, it started about 45 minutes ago. Um, they're a tough side, to be really honest. Let me actually take a look at who Benfica have got right now. I mean, I can see here that Benfica actually just battered some side called Villa Franquense in the Portuguese league 5-0. So that tells you everything. But one thing I will say is it is the Portuguese league, but we like we can't take Roma lightly. I can't even try to fluff it to try to say, oh, like Roma, like oh, decent side, but I saw Benfica decent side, but not really much there. I mean, Benfica are a solid side, and that's going to be tough. Just looking at some of the players that they have there, I don't know if how long you've been checking out my channel, but remember when we had the transfer room of that guy Everton, the guy I think he used to play for Gremio in Brazil. He's now at Benfica. You got Jan Vertonghen's at Benfica. Nicholas Otamendi from City is at Benfica. You got Julian Weigl from Dortmund. Oh wow! They got Jean Claire Tadibo, who was a youth player at Barcelona. He's there as well. Adel Taarabt, former QPR player. Rafa Silva, I believe he used to play for Wolves. Um, Gilberto Moraes Jr., he was linked with Arsenal at one point. Alex Grimaldo, I mean, he's been at Benfica for a while. I think he came through the academy. That's probably the only notable ones there at the moment. But I mean, let's be really honest. Benfica have got they've got some players. Oh, you've heard of him? Okay. If we start Willian, Xhaka, and Bellerin in that game, we might as well kiss the fucking Europa League game goodbye. And apologies with the swearing, but like after the game yesterday, I still can't take it. I'm baffled, absolutely baffed on what goes through Mikel Arteta's mind. And I literally just received someone sent me some information about what's been going on in the whole Arsenal dressing room. And oh my god, where is it? Where is it? Okay, so what it is from this guy Chris Wheatley. I believe he's a journalist. He goes on to say that Arteta looks like he's lost the dressing room, and that Özil and Socrates, their influence over the squad is tremendous. And it looks like Xhaka is part of that. It actually looks like most of the former the Bundesliga boys is what I want to call them. Özil, Mustafi, Socrates, Kolasinac, that they're all part of that clique. That means that Arteta looks like he's lost the dressing room. Also, it's even said that he lost. It looks like he doesn't have a good relationship no longer with David Luiz. And you can criticize David Luiz all you want, but David Luiz has got he's a leader in that dressing room. A lot of the young players look up to him, and we've seen it there within the Europa League. Willock has talked about him, Saka, Reece Nelson, and I mean, how do you lose a relationship with David Luiz? Well, just because he had a bit of a fight with what's his face, Ceballos? I mean, it's a joke, absolute joke. Players are liaising respectful. Well, I mean, I don't know, because you know what, the Özil situation. You talk about Arteta, but that all of that started under Emery, and as far as I've been told, this is more so the club have decided that they no longer want Özil at the club, and they've been trying to get rid of him for a while now. Um, I tell people this, especially people that are Özil fans, like the Özil thing. Unfortunately, we're just going to have to kind of get over. Like, I think that the team now is in a position where they could support him, but it's quite clear that the club have no interest in playing Özil whatsoever. I'm hearing stories that he's there's a 95% chance that he's going to be gone in January, whether it be to DC United in the MLS, or to Fenerbahce in Turkey, or probably one of the other Turkish sides. When it comes to Guendouzi, because I know everybody keeps talking about Guendouzi, Guendouzi refused to apologize. And I think Guendouzi decided, well, if I'm not going to apologize, if I need to go, then I'll go. And I think Guendouzi has just called his bluff. Um, but to be really honest, like Arsenal's problems are bigger than the players who are not here, the Guendouzis and the Torreiras. Like Arsenal have biggest problem right now, surprisingly, is scoring goals when we've got the most expensive forward line in the Premier League, or one of the most expensive forward lines in the Premier League. Uh, I mean, it's just, it baffles me. Wrong approach, but well, I agree. He should. No, I agree that Guendouzi should have been disciplined. Um, but I was surprised that they sent him out on loan. I really was. I don't think that they should have ever given him an ultimatum. Me personally, like, if you give me an ultimatum, I'm doing the one that you don't want me to do. Like, and that's just real talk. So I get that from Guendouzi's perspective, because if they're out there giving players ultimatums, when, let's be really honest, Arsenal are not in a position to be giving anybody ultimatums. And I would have said that from last season, before Arteta came into place. Like, this is a rebuilding stage. You've brought in players to help you through that transition. That means that every single player is there is a purpose for them. So he could have. Uh, he could have done a better job at that. But I don't think it's all Arteta. I really don't. I think it all. I think it's also Edu as well. Like Arteta, yeah, he is the manager, but it's coming from up above. Like, then the people there that are in charge, that are Josh Kroenke has put in charge, they're the ones that are fucking this up. And they're the ones that they also got to be put to blame as well. So if you're going to blame Arteta, blame them. I want to see equal blame for them. That's the biggest issue. Welcome, Rodrigo. I'm assuming Rodrigo is is a Benfica fan, so he's probably loving this. Because people like me, I'm quite worried. Like, in my video yesterday, if you haven't checked it out on my channel, I talk about, like, we're in a relegation fight right now in the Premier League, and we're going up against Benfica. Yes, it's in February, which means that we've got a considerable amount of time for us to be able to make changes and improve. But who do you improve that with? Is it signings in January? And I know, like, that there are stories about us signing players. in January. So I, I just hope that we get a creative player. There was talks of Dominic Szoboszlai, who everyone has been bigging up, and he is a very good player. To be really honest, but is he? Do we have an actual chance of getting him? No. Talks are that he's going to either Leipzig or Salzburg, and yeah, for me, I think that the opportunity to get Dominic Szoboszlai should have been a couple of years ago, whereby we were looking at him then. That's when we should have got Dominic Szoboszlai. As a matter of fact, that's the thing with Arsenal. We have to get players before they really big up. So, like for instance, in the Premier League, Arsenal are rumored with Basuma from Brighton, who's a really good overall complete midfield player, similar to it being in that kind of Thomas Partey mode. I really like him as a player, but Brighton are going to ask for 40 mil. Arsenal right now do not have the big amount of funds, the amount it's going to take to rebuild Arsenal. I mean, for me, you're talking about 500 million, 500 grand. I'm being absolutely serious about that. That's starting 11 and that's bench players as well. And Brighton are going to ask for top dollar for one of their good players. EA Sports, all the bloody Benfica fans are in there. Joseph Masenko, you say Edu, yeah, has been poor so far. Only third of his signings have been good. Yeah, I get stick by giving Edu criticism. Just you know what? Looking back now, I think Raul fucked up a lot of our signings. The Pepe thing, when it first dropped, when he got sacked, I called it. I was like, "There's some they've hired someone to come in and do an investigation," and immediately Raul goes. And one of the stories was that they felt that they overpaid for Pepe. Well, yeah, you did overpay for Pepe. And I think there's going to be a lot more of these stories. I think Willian is going to be criticized as well. Why we're paying him? Willian's on over 200 grand a week. Like, come on! Like, I would have. Like, there had to have been other options out there. I'm sorry, there had to have been. For 200 grand a week, it's ridiculous. Arsenal don't want good play. But that's the problem, Joseph. That's where our scouting department have to be on it, because it's one thing for Arsenal fans to be like, "Oh, who's this no-name player?" and then he turns out to be good. But they're the ones that get paid for finding these players and saying, "You know what? We believe these players could provide value to our club." But if our scouting department don't go and find these players, then Arsenal are always going to be left behind. The reason why Liverpool are in the position that they are now is because their scouting department was able to identify players who were quality players for cheap, that they, with the right coaching, helped to make those players even better. Philip Coutinho was an Inter Milan reject. And to all of you, like I heard, would see the guy at EA Sports. If you go back and play FIFA 14, 15, you will see a Philip Coutinho on there who's always for sale for Inter Milan, always for sale, dirt cheap, ridiculous potential. And everybody knew Philip Coutinho had potential, but how are you going to be able to get the best out of him? And that's what Arsenal need to do. They bought him for what, 12 mil, dirt cheap. Luis Suarez, with teeth, the one who's always trying to bite into everyone. They picked him up from Ajax for 20 mil. First season wasn't that great, but you saw there was quality there. With the right coaching, what happened then? He turned into a top draw player, and they sold him for a good amount. And yeah, he did provide value for Liverpool, but that's what Arsenal need to do. They need to go on and they need to sort out their fucking scouting department. I'm more than happy to help if they're listening. Shoot you across some emails. I use the same scouting software that a lot of other scouts use to be able to identify talent. So I'm more than happy to consult with them. But yeah, they're probably just thinking, "Oh, this guy's fucking know what he's talking about." Sell Willian in January, please. I wish that would be the case, but I don't see that happening. I don't think Arsenal are gonna go sell Willian. And it's a shame. And you know what? Arsenal put themselves in such a situation with Willian, in that How can you go sell a player? Who's going to want to buy a player that you've given over 200 grand a week? 200 grand a week. Who the fuck is going to buy this guy? What, a 32, 33-year-old? Who's buying Willian? Like, seriously. Like if somebody came in and was like, "We'll give you 15 million for Willian," I'm taking it. I'll take it right now. I really would, because for me, he hasn't showed anywhere near the level that he shown when he was at Chelsea. Like I thought, you know what? I thought Willian would come in. He'd probably be like a backup, a senior player. Wouldn't play every single game, but would be someone that you look at on the bench. And if you need to make changes, you can make changes. In this Arsenal side, nothing. I get nothing from him. Bro, Arsenal is depressing. I thought we were a big club. Get rid of Kroenke in the board. Well, right now, I can honestly say we're not behaving like a big club. We look atrocious. We look terrible. Absolutely terrible. We don't behave like a big club. I think we've got a manager who, I mean, he's an inexperienced manager. I'm not on the Arteta out brigade as of yet, but I can honestly tell you right now, I am on the path to being Arteta out if things do not change. Because what I keep seeing is just ridiculous. I mean, the guy's lost it. I mean, the guy's insane. And that's the definition of insanity, right? You know, you do things over and over again without a change in result. It's insane. Absolutely insane. Joseph Dennis says, agreed. The fans must target the ownership. That's the only way. Yeah. Um, whether it's pumping more money into the club, whether it's changing our Arteta, like it all comes down to the people at the top. But I like let's even out the blame. You know, Arteta has to be put at fault for what he is putting out there every single week, because he's the one that chooses these players. Like you've got Callum Chambers there, you got Maitland-Niles there. Where is Pablo Mari? You got Hector Bellerin every single week. Gives below average performances. You signed Cedric Soares, but you don't use the guy. Why? Why? Like you got the kids in the Europa League performing well. You know, Joe Willock is the highest assist maker in the Europa League this season so far, with joint on 4, and he could hardly get any games in the Premier League. It's terrible, absolutely terrible. It frustrates the hell out of me. At Chelsea, Willian wasn't even that good. One above average season. His standards is why. You can make that argument. I mean, I've seen a lot of his numbers, and he he is okay at best. But I thought, you know what, like if you're looking for an experienced player, it's not just on the pitch that you want them to provide value. It's going to be also like what they do off the pitch. So what David Luiz does that I think is better than his performances on the pitch is his ability to be a leader on the pitch, to be a leader for those young players. I don't think Willian does that. Willian seems like pretty much a shy guy. Like he doesn't seem to be vocal. He seems to be lost on the pitch. He seems like he's looking for a leader. To be really fair, so it's Arsenal right now. We are a joke. We are looking like a joke, but we can change things around, and I just hope that we can. I really do, and I hope that we can do it. And I hope that we can do it before the Europa League game against Benfica. So Spuds Desk has a comment talking about Kroenke won't leave until people start buying the merch, until put pressure on him, until these twats go away. We're really going to end up in the championship. To be really honest, if you want Kroenke to sell the club, Kroenke has spent what 1 I think it's 5 billion on buying Arsenal. Could you imagine you're a business owner? You've just spent 1.5 million buying a club and they get relegated. The value of Arsenal keeps plummeting every single year. If we get relegated, his the value of Arsenal will drop so much. he might actually go and sell the club because he would have made a ridiculous amount of losses, ridiculous level of losses for Arsenal to get that. Like, we can't get relegated. We really can't get relegated. If we no, we just can't. I won't even put that idea out there on what's going to happen. Like, I refuse to talk about relegation, but we are in a relegation dogfight. I will say that right now. So I am looking at some of the players in the Benfica side because I really want to take a look at potential threats of what we have, and I could honestly say that their forward line isn't really threatening. And I'm looking at transfermarket.co.uk. None of their forwards are like they're all right, and I've never heard of most of them. But it looks like the breadth of their real attacking verve is in their midfield. So they got Rafa Silva, who I've heard of. They got Pizzi, who's a good attacking midfield player. Adel Taarabt, he's good as well. And they've got Everton, who looks like he's probably their best player on the pitch. And we were rumored with him um, a year and a half ago with Arsenal. Came very close to buying him the same season that we bought Gabriel Martinelli in there. Then when you look at their, yeah, they got Julian Weigl as their DM. He's a very good player. I know he was an okay player at Dortmund, but I think he had lots of room to improve. And then centre back, we could criticize them all they want, but Vertonghen and Otamendi, oh God, got something in my eye, are pretty decent players overall. So it looks like they got a pretty good, solid centre back pairing there. But see Darwin, Rafa, Pizzi, Tarap. Oh, I've never heard of this Cibolinia and Darwin. Let me check them out. Cibolinia and Darwin Nunez. I don't see this Cibolinia. Do you mean Chiquinho? Where is it? Where is it? I'm looking. Okay, no, I don't see that guy, but I'm looking at this guy, Darwin Nunez, striker, 21 years old, Uruguayan forward, scored 6 goals, 6 assists, so he looks to be more maybe like a complete striker. Uh, Maybe closer to the time, I will do a little bit more of a review or on the kind of threats that we have that can potentially come from them. Oh, Cibellino's Everton. Okay, yeah. I know how good Everton is. Barca wants Darwin. I can understand why they want. Looking at his stats, Darwin, he looks to be like a complete forward. You know, he gets goals, he gets assists. I mean, even for a striker, for 6 assists, that's actually pretty good. And he's only played 15 games in the Portuguese league. So, I mean, you think about it, that means that almost every game he's having an effect on the game, whether that being a goal or an assist. So, it's not bad. R says Benfica will beat Arsenal. Well, listen, we got quite a few months, so I'm not going to go as far as to say that because I'm going to believe in my team. But I will say this: there's time. There really is time. You know, we could come back and improve the squad, and maybe we could do the business. But it's definitely going to be a tough one with that. But I think close to the time, I'll end up doing a proper prediction for the game against Benfica. Uh, see Darwin against Lekpon and hat trick. Hugo, I will definitely check that out as well. That'd be great. And you know what? If you guys haven't, definitely I haven't seen you before, Hugo. So definitely subscribe to the channel. If you are a Benfica fan, subscribe to the channel as well because I'm sure when that game does come around, it's going to be very interesting. I mean, I'm definitely hoping Arsenal win, but Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. I'm no, do not kid yourself, Arsenal fans. Whether if you're watching this in the chat room right now, it's going to be a tough game. But I'll check out that goal that he scored, the hat trick at Lech Poznan overall. But guys, I'm about 25 minutes. I think I will basically end it there. Lots of good ties within this. I'd be very interested to see what the potential last 16 is going to look like. To be really honest, this is the only thing that we have left out of our season, Arsenal fans. The season in the Premier League is basically over. I mean, unless we went unbeaten for the rest of the season, which is, I mean, it's possible, but and miracles can happen, but it's very unlikely. So let's focus on the Europa League. Let's go and win the Europa League. Let's get back into the Champions League, get that Champions League money. Let's continue to start to build the squad over again and take it from then. So, guys, thank you once again for watching the video. Do remember to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I know we've still got 5 people in the chat room. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Do continue to thumbs up the video. They've got 8 thumbs up, 9 thumbs up. I think that's probably the most I've had on a live stream. So thank you once again, everyone, for that. I really do appreciate the support. And I will see you all next time, which should be sometime tomorrow. I'm going to be doing our loan report video and a preview for our Southampton game on Wednesday as well. And I'll be doing a loan report video on Guendouzi, who scored a really good goal. I'll be going in more in depth on what that looks like. One last question. Thank you very much, Hugo, for subscribing to the channel. Do remember to share the link as well. Really appreciate the support there. The problem is in Benfica is the defense. Well, I mean, they brought in Vertonghen and Otamendi. I mean, Vertonghen is a good centre back. Otamendi was always questionable, but again, I don't know. Arsenal's attack right now is shit, so I will say let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. But I'm gonna end it there. Do if you are a Benfica fan, do keep yourself posted for that Benfica preview. That's probably going to be in February, but I will definitely be looking at a lot of those Benfica players because there's a lot of players there that I don't know. That guy Darwin Nunez, he looks like a player, and I think that the average Arsenal fan wouldn't know much about him, to be really honest. So I'm going to be doing some real in-depth research on a lot of those Benfica players because we can't underestimate. Otamendi's an imposter. Nah, mate. Every person that was in the as a Premier League fan knew Otamendi was an imposter. The guy was shit. He defensively, it was defensively he was always questionable, and then also his size as well. For the Premier League, he just didn't suit, and it looks like in the Portuguese league, it's the same thing. So yeah. But I'm gonna end it there. Like we're approaching 30 minutes, and I've had my therapy in this live stream, and I've shared my views on Arsenal's recent form, and I've shared my view on Arsenal in regards to the Europa League draw for Benfica. We just have to pray and hope that things change. But again, to everyone there who hasn't liked the video and subscribed, do like and subscribe the video. It does help the channel out. And once again, I'll see you all next time. This time I'm gonna go. So no more comments. I'm gonna go now, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks, guys. Peace.